Hello and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today, I draw for you once again and talk about standards. The standards we have for ourselves, for the people around us, and how the standards for ourselves impact those around us and our standards for them. I know that's a bit of a mouthful, so make sure to check it out. Stay till the end. It all comes together nicely. And if you enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, hit that bell icon, whatever order you want to do it in, so that you never miss a video. And without further ado, let's begin. So I got two topics that I kind of wanted to cover, and I also had a little bit of the intention to record back-to-back episodes because I've fallen a bit behind. Now I'm day of instead of day before. So I might just hit both of them today. The first one I wanted to go over, the first topic I wanted to broach with you, is the topic of standards and the standards that we have for ourselves. The standards that we have set for ourselves also impact the standards that we have set for other people. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize just how much your interactions with other people are a reflection on your reactions and your interactions with yourself. Everything starts from within, right? I truly don't believe that you can treat yourself kindly, like actually kindly, and treat others awfully. I think that if someone is out there very obviously treating others with disrespect, with rudeness, with honest anger and frustration, they're more than likely treating themselves with that same mentality. If you see someone angry out there, they're also angry with themselves. If you see someone out there that's frustrated and lashing out or is incredibly embarrassed or sad, they're often feeling those things about themselves too. Because those feelings, those emotions, those emotions, they don't come from nowhere. We have to see them. We have to feel them somewhere. So it's more about, like, where do you feel your emotions? Like, what do you feel most often? I always thought that it started outwards, right? Like, I was nice to other people and therefore I would learn to be nice to myself. Nope. Not true. Not true. Not true. Not true. It was only when I learned to quiet my mind and honestly, like, stop caring about what other people thought, that I was able to start loving myself, and then loving other people became so incredibly easy. So, back on topic, it's all about standards, which is, what are the standards that you are treating yourself and the other people in your life to? Like, what do you decide is a boundary? What do you decide is a limit? What do you decide is something that you will not stand for? The quality of your life is fully dependent on the standards that you set and hold. Like, if there's something that's not going well for you, if you're constantly treated poorly in friendships and relationships, it is simply because you have had a low standard for yourself in those areas. And that's kind of rough. That's rough to think about, because we may make excuses saying, "Oh, but like, there's days that I love these people. There's days that they're kind. There's days that I honestly don't care." Okay, maybe that's not fully true. But when I say I don't care, what I mean is that there is no excuse that you can have for treating someone poorly and get away with it. Like whenever I treat someone poorly, whenever I do something wrong and hurt someone and make them feel worse, make them feel lesser than they are, it's my sole responsibility to make it right, to apologize, to do better by them and everybody else in my life. I hold people to that standard. I'm not going to force them to apologize for the things that they've done, but if you're not at the point where you can see that you've done something wrong and apologize for it, you're just not going to be a part of my life. And that's fine. It's fine for me to not have you there, and you'll learn to not have me there. The choice is, do you want me in your life? If you want me in your life, you have to raise your own standards for yourself too. If the quality of my life is dependent on my standards, I'm going to raise my own standards, therefore raising my quality of life. It's like a very simple statement, very simple idea, but it can have a very profound effect on every single area, every single thing that you do. It's the difference between someone having an idea and keeping it on a post-it note, never doing anything about it, or making it happen, right? It's the difference between someone feeling a little bit off, but still deciding to go work out because they know they feel better after exercising, and the person who decides that they can rest most days of the week and not exercise, even though they know they feel better after exercising. Raising your standards is one of the best things that you could do for yourself. Because those that really care about you in your life, if you raise your standards for them, they will also rise. And it's no secret that I'm here trying to make the people in my life rise to their fullest potential. Potential, imagine. I want more for you than you'll ever know. Truly. It's not even that I want that much for myself. It's that I know that if I help you get a higher standard of life and you live it, you breathe it, you love it, I know I've done my job. I truly see it as one of my jobs, one of my roles, I guess I'll call it, one of my responsibilities, to leave the world better than I found it. That's one of the standards I set for myself. I set this standard for myself where if I see something that I don't like, it's up to me to take action and do something about it. Sometimes that means getting people involved, right? It may mean spreading ideas. It may be, I don't know, joining a group. But the important part is that I do something because I have that standard. I have that standard that there's so much that could be said about the world and things going wrong, and there's people doing different roles. They're playing their parts. They're being activists, or they're donating money, they're being philanthropists, like whatever. There's also the people who may or may not be making things a lot worse. everybody's playing some role, and I've just decided that my role is going to be my role. Like, I will make the world a little bit better. I'm not going to solve the world's problems. I don't have all the answers in the world. But if I can leave a room knowing that someone is feeling a little bit better, or they're being set on a path that's a little bit brighter, that feels right to me. That feels like I've done a good job. So I started saying that to myself. I started saying, like, I want to leave the world a better place than I found it years ago. Or I used to say, like, I want to leave my corner of the world better than the way I found it. Because I know I'm not going to have a global, like an entire world impact per se. I truly believe I'm capable of impacting millions, if not billions of lives, but every single person, that's a bit tough. I don't think there's a single person out there that's done that. I don't think there's a single group, single company that has done that. But I do know that whether or not I believe I could impact the world or not, I know for a fact that I can impact one person. And just one person at a time is all I really need. I want to take it easy. I want to set myself up for that level of commitment, for that level of success of, hey, you know what? What can I do for you so that you have a better today than you had yesterday? Little sidebar here when it comes to standards and my drawing. I don't immediately have a high standard for everything that I do. Take this drawing, for instance. If you set too high of a standard too fast, you may never start something. You may find it very difficult to put yourself out there and to say, oh, this isn't perfect. This isn't up to my standards, whatever. The standards that I have set when it comes to creating, when it comes to making these episodes, is that I will show up every single day. And that may sound small, it may sound quite simple, but I want you to try it. Try doing something every single day for a year. Like, commit to that. And then let me know just how easy that standard is to achieve. I'm talking about days when you're sick, days when you're tired, days when you're unmotivated, days when you have so much going on that you're low on sleep. You're maybe 3-4 hours into the day. You're already tired, and you still have another 12 hours of activities to do, and you still show up. Some people do that with exercising, right? They will exercise every single day. Some people do that with their finances. They'll make sure to show up and actually watch their finances, watch what they do every single day. My medium is this channel. My medium is YouTube, right? I get to show up here every single day and just post. Whether or not it's a perfect video, it doesn't matter. Because the point is I'm here. And I remember actually hearing this quote now that I'm saying the word perfect more and more. And it's that perfect is actually the lowest standard that we can strive for. What I mean by that is we all know that perfect is impossible. There's always going to be something for us to improve. There's no way that we will ever be perfect. So whenever we tell ourselves that we want to do something perfectly, or we want to have the perfect video before we put it out, or draw the perfect picture before we show others, it's a way for our brain to get permission to not do the thing. To not do the thing and not show up and not do what we set out to do. Perfection is the lowest standards because we can never get it, and so we have permission to never meet our standards. I don't live by that. I live by the standard of doing the best I could with the resources I have, right? Do the best that you can do with what you know how to do, with your skills. If you want to do better, you can. Just get the resources that you need. Maybe that's a book, maybe that's a class, maybe that's whatever. But for the moment, don't let this standard of trying to be perfect or trying to have it a certain quality stop you from even trying something. I love watching people try, even if they fail, even if they succeed. Actually, I love seeing people try and quote unquote fail or mess up, not because I like seeing them fail, but because I know there's an important lesson, there's something so valuable to learn from an experience like that. I love seeing people go through something like that because it means that they have the opportunity to become something better, someone better. And I think that's so cool. I think that's so awesome. Of course, I love to see people succeed too, because that means that the hard work and the effort that they put in is paying off. But you learn less from success. It's interesting. It's like success leaves clues, yes. And you may have an idea of what to do next time if you succeed. But sometimes you'll find that when you succeed, it might have been a fluke, right? You might have actually just gotten lucky. And when that happens, if you haven't tried and tried before, and you haven't learned what doesn't work, you might hit a losing streak for quite a while. I think that's what happens with people who are like, the time-tested, like, one-hit wonders kind of thing, which is people find rapid success, but what they found was one instance of something working, not the formula to winning. And so when they try to replicate it and eventually something doesn't go right, they don't have the skills, they don't have the experience of failing to know what to do in that moment. And that's when some people, end up like, it seems like they disappear, right? Maybe they don't make that next song. Maybe they don't play that next game, in that next sport. Like, they don't do the next thing because now they're in their session, in their season of like, okay, now I have to like learn what I was meant to learn. And so some people in this time stay gone. Like they disappear and they stay disappeared. Some people make a comeback later because they saw that they have what it takes to win, and they've now taken the time to learn the things they've needed to learn. I want you to have a high standard for yourself. I want you to have a high standard for the people in your life and the things that you do, because those are going to determine, excuse my mouth fumble, how you feel about your life. If you're not happy about your life, chances are you might just not be living at the highest standard that you know you can achieve. It feels good to live at a high standard, let me tell you. It feels good to live at a high standard and to actually follow it. I guess actually live by it, not just set a high standard and then miss it. Because when we do that, we get immense pride. And pride is a feeling that many people love to experience, truly, like quite simply put. And I'm not talking about the sin type of proud or pride, I'll say. So maybe pride's the wrong word. Instead of pride, it's more like feeling proud of yourself. I guess like proud of yourself for the hard work that you've done, not the ego type of pride. I think that's an important distinction, and I hope that much didn't go over much many people's heads. Anywho, I'm back on that like drawing talking grind, and yesterday I gave myself a little break from that because I was so mentally fatigued. I knew there was no shot I was going to be able to talk. So we're here now, and I'm no longer that mentally fatigued, but I will say it is challenging nonetheless. I'm also just like figuring this out, this whole drawing thing. Remember how I said like, don't know that? I feel like I got this interesting thing going on with like these like scribbles going in different directions to show depth. And what I'm going to do with this is definitely to be determined. That's for sure. But I think I'm having a good time. What am I saying? I know I'm having a good time. Anyways, I hope you can pick up what I've been saying in this episode. I might actually call it here in just a second. Yo, crosshatch. Yo 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 yo. Let me just pause this here. This is what we got going on so far. Having high standards is not the only thing you need. There's more. I've made episodes ranging on all the things that I think could be useful for you. Yesterday's episode, all about honesty, was super important for me. Right? You can't have high standards for yourself if you're not honest with yourself. You can't give yourself grace. You can't give yourself love and compassion if you're not honest with yourself. If you try to do those things when you're dishonest, you're giving those things to this mask of lies, and you know it's a lie. That's why it doesn't feel great. That's why you feel a bit disconnected from it. So that's important. It's important to give yourself love. You know, this show is all about the different forms of love that I experience. Having a high set of standards for myself and for the people in my life is one way that I show love, because wanting more for myself helps me want more for other people. And I want more for other people because I love them, because I want them to experience the most that they can in this one trip on planet Earth that we get. It's all of our first times. We're all just figuring this out. So instead of believing that you can't do something, let's start testing and trying out and seeing what we can. So for today, that's where I'm going to call it. It's always a pleasure getting to be here with you, getting to see you. If you did enjoy this video, I would really love it if you left a comment down below, left a like, and just let me know exactly what you enjoyed about it. Let me know what you think about setting standards for yourself and for the people around you. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification icon so that you never miss another video. But until next time, just remember to always fill up with the love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.